Thank you for joining me again. Today, I wanted to speak on something that's been presented to me quite frequently lately. And I was thinking about the stigma, at least that I felt there was towards people in addiction um, while I was in active addiction, and even now that I'm in recovery. And so it's very interesting to me how the perceptions that people hold towards others. And while I was in active addiction, um, I'll be quite frank, I feel as though I met some extremely brilliant people. And I don't know if that would be surprising to hear from anyone, but when you're in recovery, you talk about how you have to put the same energy into your recovery as you did into your addiction. And that means, all the time and effort that you put into your addiction and using the getting and finding ways and means to get more, put that into your recovery. And so when you talk about the time and effort that goes into using or active addiction, in my experience, is always the thought revolved around, what do I have? How much is left? When might I need more? How do I get more? What are ways I can do that? And going through all those processes. And, and seeing, how that was for me, and then relating that to the people around me and the things that I felt that I was picking up from on them. But you get really creative. Um, you know, that no is not an option. No is not an option. You won't just, oh, I can't today. No, like the goal and the desire to use to get more, to always have, is greater than any excuse or obstacle that may arise. If that makes sense. And so, yeah, it's just a no is not an option, and therefore, you know, um, you start using your problem solving, thinking outside of the box. There are no limits, and that's very, that's actually quite a very useful and proactive, productive skill. Um, you know, um, Ultimately in active addiction, it's directed, well, the focus it is directed in is, towards the getting and using and finding ways and means to get more. Um, However, that skill in itself is very, very, my words are escaping me, but very useful, very, yeah, it's a great skill to have. It's actually quite desirable, especially for employers and such, and just in life, being able to solve a problem with, on your own in your mind, being able to see the different perspectives or outcomes and weigh the options and stuff. So yeah, it's a very great skill to have. And another means in, putting the same energy into the energy that, okay, when you think about challenging yourself or, setting a goal for change, for growth, to expand, usually it requires pushing yourself outside of your comfort zones or your limits, taking risks, believing in yourself, taking risks, that, and also believing the desire for the goal, the outcome, or, is greater than any obstacle that might arise. And so, a lot of the stigma, which is where I wanted to get to around people in addiction, is, criminals, have no respect for other people, liars, thieves, and such. And that might be, how things are perpetrated from the outside. But in the context of things, those actions are a result of trying to solve a problem. And, so when we talk about taking risks, believing in ourselves, taking risks, or, desiring something so much that no obstacle will stop us, in the terms of, criminals, criminals are realistically people who risk their freedom for something that they desired so much. And so, instead of that, I think the stigma is against the person when really it's against, look at where their focus is and think about how capable, how powerful, how much of an asset and a strength this person has if that focus was could be just redirected to something that was positive. Um, Perhaps instead of a substance or a thing, but also in ourselves. I believe that recovery is an act of love. It's not just a program you do to stop using, but stopping using is actually an act of love towards ourselves. And recovery is a guideline, a structure to help us learn things, such as a place to implement healing through emotions regulation, allowing traumas and wounds to surface to work through them, because choosing to be with yourself and not escape from it is ultimate form of love. It's saying I'm gonna see me for all of me and not run from it. And so, we talk about how in recovery, if you want to say the gifts, or the areas where I see a lot of people being, as far as skills that can be redirected into, work or employment, or even self-employment. There's the problem solving, thinking outside of the box, the determination, you know, not no excuses, and also um, networking. Networking is huge in the business world, and although the networking done, from an addict is probably not professional-esque, those skills can be, polished, if you want to say. But yeah, to think that, well, so realistically, I think of people in addiction, and um, I was amazed at the knowledge, the skills, the, intelligence. And it's like this whole world of people that, the stigma is, against. And so, they're over here in this negative view, but really they possess so many skills and, like I said, skills, knowledge, and all this that, is so desirable in employment, in the business world, in life. It's just, where people's focus are. So, if we can start believing in one another and supporting each other, empowering each other, it just, because I know when I was in active addiction, a lot of that had to do with me feeling like something within me felt like I deserved to be punished. And so taking that step into recovery was not only the act and the implementation of saying that, the act of love towards myself, but saying that I want more and I'm worthy of more. And so, I think if we sit there and build each other up and support each other versus, stigmatizing other people, but just really get beyond that, the book cover, and read the pages and see that we're all just people so brilliant and, here, we're here and we're all going through different things, but yeah, what one, there's a treasure inside all of us. There's a light within all of us. And, just there's no there's no don't believe anything you hear, outside that says, because, you know, you've done this or this or this or this, that you are this or can't be this or shouldn't do this or won't be able to do this. Let go of all that limiting stuff that you have ever heard, and listen to your inner voice that, says, um, I'm meant for more, because we all are. And so let's build each other up, love and support each other, and see each other for our strengths instead of criticizing each other for our weaknesses, because we all are struggling and going through struggles. It's just some are more visible than others. So thanks for letting me share this message. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you have any loving words of encouragement for anyone who might pass this message, I'd love you to drop them below. Love to hear your opinions, and also just know that I love you and I see you and I'm here cheering you on. So Have a great day.